So here's what I wanted to talk about when it came down to where we put our faith, belief, and all that kind of shit. All right, when we put our faith in doctors more than likely install, because this is not their fault. They went to school for this, okay? They may know or they may not know. And if they know, then shame on them. If they don't know, then videos like this may help you. They implant the mind virus into you first, because all diseases start from a mind virus first. Let me also make this disclaimer to protect my video. I'm not a medical doctor. Don't listen to everything I say. Do your own research, okay? I don't know anything. I'm just speaking my opinions on camera, which is what we all do on camera anyway. You listen to opinions. You categorize it as truth because that's the frequency that you're on, and that's why they say I resonate with that information, because that's the frequency you're on. But I am a lymphatic iridologist. I am a healer, and I'm also a certified hypnotist. I am a nutrition counselor. I am extensively versed. I'm very inclined in the area of supplementation because I worked for a supplement company for over 10 years. So I know these things that I can speak on, okay? So that's that, okay? Now, when you look at your superpowers are your faith, your belief, and your imagination, which is why religion pushes for you to put all your faith into what it is that's being said. You put all your faith in doctors, where you won't listen to anything, where mainly people say, well, I gotta ask my doctor, and you put all your faith in doctors. If you look at the definition between a doctor and a healer, two totally different things. One is a licensed practitioner. They have a license to practice medicine on you. They can't even say they're gonna cure you of diseases. When you come out of something, they call it remission to some extent, but they can never say they really healed you. You get what I'm saying? Because a healer is not a doctor. Okay, a doctor is a licensed practitioner. They have a license to practice medicine, all right? Now, when you look at healers is also a pretty sensitive topic because you're still depending on external means outside of you to basically get you out of whatever situation you're in. But it's coming down to this, okay? Like I started the video on mind viruses, okay? If you gain information on something, there's a horrible piece of information that you bought into, and now it is implanted in your mind, and it is there to grow and fester until it becomes an actual deity, because these symptoms all arise from one thing, which is you. All the symptoms you may hear about, fucking diabetes, cancer, colitis, I mean, you could, bitchitis, whatever it may be, any fucking disease you could think of, okay? They all stem from one thing, and that's you. Whatever you decided to buy into. Also, what you were consuming. Also, what you think about. Okay? Again, negative emotions, if you have a lot of grudge, anger, hate, jealousy, these things, you hold on to these things. You know what I'm saying? And you holding on to them, this is what creates this is how any symptom of dis-ease creates. Stagnation, okay, is the number one way that you can create diseases in the body. When things are not circulating, when things are not flowing, okay? It's important for you to have your blood circulating through your body freely. It's important for you to have energy flowing freely. It's important for you to breathe properly, right? So you see what happens if you have obstructions in your breathing or obstructions in your circulation? That's a big problem. What happens when you can't take a shit? That's horrible, and you don't even feel good, right? A lot of the times, your body's made of water. If you look at a puddle and it's just, let's say, water that's not flowing, you tend to see a bunch of algae and like mosquito larvae and just diseases that tend to form in that water, right? When water's flowing freely, you can even drink out of that water, right? From a flowing river or flowing pond or whatnot. You could drink out of that water, right? But something that's not moving creates stagnation. Anything that's not moving rots, right? Energy needs to move as well, okay? You got emotion, which is energy and motion. You tie these emotions, but when you hold on to emotions, they're no longer flowing. So these things create inflammation in the body, such as diseases. You may have cancer, diabetes, or inflammation in the body, and it can just be from your stress that you're causing yourself from holding on to negative emotions outside of you to things that really don't even fucking matter. If you want to look at it from as deep level as possible, none of these things actually exist. They exist because they matter to you. When you say it doesn't matter, it doesn't materialize in your life. When you put matter into something, you materialize it in your life. Because energy flows where attention goes. So if you're putting energy to it, you're manifesting it more than likely into your physical form. So these diseases are developing symptoms. You never catch anything. That's why they call them developing symptoms. These things arise from within you. You're the root cause of all these entities that tend to manifest in your life in physical form. Okay? So that's why any symptoms you have, they name it individual names for these diseases. Okay? But they're all the root cause of one thing, and that's stagnation. You could be eating a certain way, and certain foods that you eat dehydrate you. They actually imbalance the chemistry in your body and start to create stagnation. Depending on where the area of emotion you're holding on to, or the genetic weakness that you may have, like cancer runs in the family or diabetes runs in the family, yeah, you pass these weaknesses down. But you're also eating the same fucking way that these people are eating as a child. So the same way they got diabetes, you're more than likely to have it because you are eating the same foods that cause their diabetes. Now, when you say generational wealth, health is wealth, right? So they pass their genes down to you. This is the health condition of your genes. And then you further stay on the same patterns. That's like if you were born in a poverty household, you may be in poverty as well because you follow the same mental patterns that your family members have. Unless you wake up to the fucking program and change the program, change your mental state, and you break out of that negative pattern, and now you put yourself in a better position in life, and you pass that down now to your future children, right? You left a legacy. When you eat a certain way, certain cultures eat a certain way. That's why certain cultures may have certain health conditions that other cultures may not have. You get what I'm saying? So cultures, you look at that on a bacterial level as well. Because your body is more bacteria than you are an actual person. The bacteria in your body, okay, your cells, these things, you have, like you look at your body like a fucking department, like a whole entire, like a business. That's why they say mind your business, okay? When you have departments such as, you want to call them chakra systems, they co-govern by organs, or the organs co-govern the chakras. You got planets outside of you. All these things work in harmony, as within, so without. However, the mind is all, the universe is mental. So whatever you're seeing outside of you only exists because it exists in you first, okay? So all the planets, all the people, all the things, even the things that trigger you are in you first. And that's why if things trigger you, these are a blessing in disguise, because you can look at these things and work through them and then see that they're actually something that you're hiding within yourself. That's why it's actually triggering you, because you put it in a closet and you are unconsciously aware of the fact that this thing is festering and growing in there, and you're looking at a mirror of yourself that's actually bothering you. This is a direct communication to you, but instead you demonize it, judge it, and punish it. And these things are actually, that's why they say treat your neighbor as you would yourself. But the fact that I just said this whole reality is you inverted inside out, what you do unto others, you're actually doing to yourself. Okay? This is how you're God. Because if somebody, for example, gains popularity or gains riches to some extent, and they actually started to grow in life to the point that they're doing very well, the moment you feel jealousy for that person or envy or anything like that, not only are you wishing bad for that person, you're like a hater, right? But what you're doing is you're sending out a powerful signal, okay, to the universe, which is you. And I'm gonna explain why you are the universe, okay? The universe, you are actually, this is like your blueprint, and what you consent to is what you create in your reality. So you sending out that signal, again, you emit a frequency, and this is how you attract. But what you emit, based on the frequency you're on, you're a vibrational being. This is the frequency that you tap into. This is what you receive back. So if you put out a frequency of, I'm jealous of that person, you are not consenting to riches then. What you're consenting to is being in a poverty state because you're jealous that that person gained popularity when you should look at that person as a version of you succeeding. What's the point of you putting videos out or anything like that? It would be to empower others, because in kind you're empowering yourself. But a lot of people do it for inverted reasons. They're trying to gain popularity and views and likes for themselves because the system is set up that way, because it's the only way that it's perceived that you have value is by views and likes. And that's not how it works. It goes the same way with money. It just shows how influential you are, how much of an impact you have. But all this thing can be set up because the algorithm is set up to basically control the point of view of how people think anyway. You get what I'm saying? But you can actually override that to some extent. There's, again, cheat codes and ways to do that. You know what I'm saying? Which I spoke on in other videos. Combos and sequences. Again, you have a combination to a safe. If you know the combination, you can easily get in there, right? But knowing certain sequences of events, combinations, which is why we study astrology, which I'm going to get into in this video, to see the patterns, the stars, how they move. You can actually, you influence the stars or the stars influence you. You can have that working for you or you work for it. The way I made the example in the previous video as to businesses working for you, where you have it set up in a way where you're not working for the business, but you can actually have the business making money for you even while you sleep. You're not just making money just only when you're clocked in under a clock, right? Or if you have a garden, you have to constantly be out there working for the garden. Instead, you set it up in a way where it's like nature. It just works for you. You know, like nobody waters or fertilizes the trees in nature. They're just working for them, right? So the same way, you have your body working for you rather than you constantly having to keep catering for the body, right? The same way the stars, they're set up a certain way to work for you. But a lot of people are actually under the mercy of these star constellation systems. But what I was going to get into is the astrologers are very useful for that reason, because they can actually read the stars. It's like somebody having a book in front of them, and then you have a book and you say, well, I don't know how to read these words. You wouldn't be able to get any information out of that book. You would have to learn how to read first for you to actually gain information from the book. So there's people who learn how to read the stars. This is very useful. See, in religion, they tell you not to learn astrology because this is the inverted way of astronomy. So they tell you don't look into that. That's actually evil. Not to dwell in that. This is my third video in a row. So let me just drink some because my throat is feeling a little bit dry. And I've been talking for over an hour already. So there's the importance of like certain astrologers and whatnot, right? So they can read the stars for you. Now you have astronomy, but then you have priests. Priests, people put all their faith and trust in priests because the religious system is set up in a way having you think of the idea of bad and good, good and evil. You get what I'm saying? Which that's all completely misunderstood. I've made many videos on like good, evil being the inversion of how you even live. Everybody's living evil to some extent because you're living inverted. If you look at the word evil backwards, evil is live. If you look at it the right way, inverted is lived. And lived is devil. If you look at the word lived backwards, is devil. So that's why anything inverted is basically you living in an evil, whatever your idea of evil is. Evil is basically ignorance, in my opinion. That's the biggest evil on the planet. But I've already spoke on that, and I'll make another video if I have to, or ask me questions in the comments if you need to. And by the way, if you're listening to the video, like my video, that actually helps my channel a lot. I would appreciate it. So yeah, so inverted living, that's in my opinion. So when you look at priests, a lot of people put their faith and trust in priests because of the way the religious system is set up, right? So you look at witches, warlocks, magicians and whatnot. You got them under a certain light. You got them under the dark type of light, but you look at priests and religion under the light, like, you know, the good side of things, right? And this is basically how the systems are set up. Now, when you look at astrologers, they fall under the side of like what a magician would be, or a witch, a warlock, warlord, whatever it may be. And then you look at priests, they preach the astronomy part, which is just knowing about the stars. But astrology teaches you a whole different idea of how these things work, which is going on a deeper level. You get what I'm saying? Now, when you look at doctors, you put all your faith in doctors, right? Because again, your superpower is your imagination, faith, and belief. So you put all your faith into that, the way the medical and pharmaceutical industry is set up. So the way that's set up is in a way where it's not really favoring you, because you can go to a doctor with certain symptoms. You yourself don't even know what the fuck is wrong with you. What makes you think a person outside of you, such as the doctor, is going to know what's wrong with you too, right? Again, what they'll do is they'll take they'll read vitals and whatnot. Most of the time, even though they're normal, doesn't mean that you're actually healthy. It just means that your vitals are normal, but you have underlying conditions that are still there. So for whatever symptoms you went in there for, they'll medicate it. They'll give you a prescription. And that's kind of like just treating a symptom. No different than if you have a check engine light on your car, rather than addressing why the check engine light is there and putting it under a scanner to find out what's wrong with it, you're basically just cutting your check engine light. I mean, the fucking car has a problem still, even though you leave the mechanic appearing to say, oh, the check engine light is gone. The check engine light was there for a reason, right? You didn't address the root cause of the issue, right? It's kind of like a lot of people who have issues in life and they'll mask it with drugs, right? They'll mask it with alcohol. They'll mask it with cocaine, weed, or whatever it may be, just to mask their issues. Doctors are like legal drug dealers. They're giving you certain drugs to mask certain issues like depression and whatnot. That shit is fake as well. And I know that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people, because you'll just hear people say, oh, but you never lived with it. I have family members who were depressed and they almost killed themselves. And then they try to pull on your heartstrings by putting on a tear in their eye and whatnot. But in actuality, what you're doing is defending that actual deity that's in your life. You get what I'm saying? That's why when you look at iridology now, okay, iridology maps and reads out the eyes, right? So it's like the ultimate scan tool for the body. You're basically looking at the entire body through the eyes. You could read the conditions of the cells, where there's stagnation, where there's imbalances. No diseases. You're just looking at the conditions of the cells, where the imbalances are at, and now you can address the root cause of the issue. So you see how a lot of people don't know about iridology, but they'll put more faith in a doctor than in an iridologist. There's a lot of people who would put more of their faith in a priest, all right, or a scientist over an astrologer. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people would put more faith into the news rather than alternative media than what they listen to on YouTube at times, though. Because a lot of times people on YouTube are just a waste of fucking time as well. Though, even the people who give you good information, most of the time they're a waste of time in between as well. And I'm gonna tell you right now, your time is very precious. There's a lot of times where you watch videos and they be 3 hours long. They'll put some good information on there, but there's a big chunk of it that's unnecessary, in my opinion. And I'm the type that reads everything like a business. And yeah, it's what I can get out of it, to be honest with you. Because there's people who will say, well, what's, you know, it's a selfish way to think. But in actuality, I give people always the attention, and I put myself in a position where I'm open-minded, because I find that other person very interesting. It's like when I just said, if I do a purge, certain people that are not serving me fall out of my life, and I gain new people in my life, because your vibe attracts your tribe. So now you start to gain a new kind of light on different people that start to come into your life. I like meeting new people because it is like meeting another universe, another planet. And I'm going to explain to you why you're the universe. You have something called organs. If you look at it in a church, you play musical organs, right? When one organ if one organ is not working properly, you start to hear the song as it sounds distorted, but it's only one song that's coming out of all those organs playing at one time, right? So here's the thing though. In your body, you have organs. If one organ is not working properly, you may not be vibrationally sound. That's why people say, oh, that person's not sound. Because you may look crazy, or you may, you know, whenever you look healthy, they say you look so vibrant. You have a nice glow to you, right? It starts to emit from you. You emanate this frequency from you. When you're healthy in a balanced frequency, you could see this, right, from a person. It's like an aura. Their aura just looks healthy. They feel to be good to be around them, right? And this is how you're the universe. If you have all your organs working in harmony, right, which I'm gonna make another video. It's gonna involve your glands in your brain and your little flat earthers. But your pituitary gland, okay, your pineal gland, one of the most important glands in your body, are located in your head. They govern, okay, the adrenal glands in your body, okay? So everything works in harmony, okay? And when you see harmony, you see hormones. They actually rule your endocrine system, which produces hormones, okay? You got certain hormones that are released in your system called elixirs, okay? Which I made a video on the urine therapy. You should go check it out. Is urine therapy the key? Very important video there. I'll link it in the description here. But hormones, harmony. Everything works in harmony. When you're a vibrationally sound human, the universe is working for you, whoever you are, because you're not even here. This is your body, but the universe, you are the universe. Your body is the universe. And when I meet other people, it's like I'm meeting other planets, other star constellations. What point in space were you born in? At what period and point in time were you born in? Right? I could see your point of view, and you can see my point of view. That's why you can only see they say you only use 10% of your brain, and you can only see a certain percent of the color spectrum, because you're only closed-minded to what you see, and you believe in what you only see. That's why I find other people very, very interesting. I like to meet new people for that reason. Okay? Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? But you have to check yourself first. What frequency are you vibrating to? You could be in a state, you could be a poor person, right? And you're working on yourself. You start to meet people that'll assist you into putting yourself in a better position in life. And it's not like you're looking for these people or chasing these people. They're just gonna come to you because they're attracted to you now, right? And I'm gonna make a video on the fine balance between showing vulnerability and showing a vulnerability in a sense of how people see you. That's the video I intended to make, but the cats told me to make a video first, so I had to make that cat video first. So that's all I got for this video. Okay, this is why when you see certain practices out here, and not to say that priest and astronomy is no good, integrate all these things together, and that's how you start connecting dots. When you meet new people, you actually start to connect dots as well. I find people very interesting, okay? And even people who may not be so interesting, there's always something interesting to find in them. They're all reflections and versions of you. You know what I'm saying? The field you get into, so right now, like I'm in lymphatic iridology, right? I do it with love, and I'm doing it in a neutral state, because you meet a lot of healers sometimes that, I mean, you're in a position where you're going to attract a lot of sick people, right? So you would appear to be like, oh man, I got all these sick people attracting into my life. But it's a blessing in disguise. It helps you, but in kind it helps them. But demonizing the system that got those people in that state is an imbalanced way of doing things, okay? Because you can also look at it as if that system didn't exist that got those people in that state, you'd be making no money. You wouldn't even have business, to be honest with you. The reason you're in business is because of those people you're demonizing. So you see, it's like a lot of different ways to look at things, right? You can't have black, you can't have white without black. You can't have light without the darkness. I mean, you're in the middle as the observer, right? You're observing these things, and when you're in that neutral standpoint, there really is no room for judgment, because you can actually see it from God's point of view. I may have left a couple of things out, but I don't have any more room in this video to basically tie anything else in. If I left anything out, I will make another video. That's all I have for here. Like my video if you like it. That does help my video out a lot, and it's actually the way you can compensate me back here is a simple like, which is free. You know what I'm saying? And you're actually doing that to yourself as well. When you hit me a like, you hit yourself a like. And that's about it. We will talk soon.